Hello and welcome back to Narkitect. Here we are in front of the palace that we made together last week, and now we have to turn our attention around to the rest of the land that we're going to build our kingdom on. The first thing we need to do is to connect our palace to the land, and then we can start to think about building up our harbour side. So here we are over at the gatehouse. I'm carrying on using stone brick and just starting to build some stairs up to the bridge, building a flat surface across and some stairs down on the other side. A bit too simple at the moment, but we'll carry on and we'll make it look really grand, and we'll have a nice crossing over to connect our palace to the harbour. Now I'll come along to the middle and add a central pillar down, something to support our bridge. And it looks too plain, and what we're going to want to do is to use stairs upside down to create archways. So we'll have two arches, and then there I am playing around in the middle pillar, deleting some blocks, putting in some stairs to add some holes there, just to add a little bit of detail. Again, no plain flat surfaces for us in our kingdom. Everything is going to stand out and be eye-catching. I'm just using a row of stairs across the sides there to be the railing, and then I'll come and add a roof. Just going up with some wooden fence blocks and then using green wool, again the same as we have for the rest of the building, just to tie it in. Starting with some little archways there, just seeing what I want, playing around with the design as we always should do until we get it just right and just how we like it. And there I am, just filling in the green wool. Still have a few things to iron out, still not quite sure on the design, still always a work in progress, just trying to get it just right, as I said. Taking out a bit in the middle, adding it back, playing with heights, just seeing how it goes. Another thing that I had to consider was how to light the bridge, because we are going to want to go over it at night or in daytime, and we do want street lighting for our town to avoid all the monsters. So I did add some glowstone underneath the wool there, just to light up the bridge, and then I stood back, made sure it was all as I wanted, and there we are, one complete bridge. And now here we are going under the bridge, turning around to look back on our palace that we've now connected to the land, and there we have it, the new area that we have to build on. So let's have a look at the big picture. It's quite a large area that we've got here to work with, and we want to make sure that it's just right. Before I built this harbour side, I checked out Shin from the Yogscast tutorial on building harbour sides. It's really great. I recommend you watch it. I took a lot of inspiration from that, and I'll add a link in the description. Now, what I'm doing there is I'm just editing the land in World Edit, bringing the water back, having a more uniform coastline that I'll continue to put the wood over. And once I built this wooden area, I started to build jetties out for our ships. Just coming out different shapes and sizes, different jetties. Maybe we'll have some fishing boats, maybe we'll have some trading ships, maybe we'll have a royal ship in the harbour side. I'll have to wait and see. This large jetty is almost like a pier, and maybe we'll build a big ship there later on in the series or later on in the episode. Now, if we'll be receiving goods from overseas, from other lands, from other cities, we're going to need somewhere to store those. So let's build some warehouses. You can see me there building a raised platform for the warehouses, and then using stone brick, I'm just building some pillars to separate the different storage units, and then I'll use some stone bricks upside down to again make them arch, to make them look a little bit fancier, and come back with some oak wood blocks, not planks, to separate them even more and add a bit more detail, because at the moment the city just looks like everything is made from stone brick. And then I'm going to come about and make these steep roofs out of red stone brick. And here we are at the front. You can see me building the steep roofs that I was talking about earlier, and a little bit closer, a little bit more detail. So here I am, just making sure the roofs meet, making sure everything's spaced out properly. And then I'll measure the depth going back, how far back we want our warehouses. And we should have a think about what we want to put in these compartments. Maybe I've got some texture for some crates. You know, we can have different crates, or we can have different blocks and ores and minerals and things that we'll need to import into our town. And of course, as you can see, the harbour side doesn't quite reach to the end, so I had to add in some more wooden planks there. And just coming around to the back, the design is exactly the same as the front, except it will be closed off. So using these wooden pillars, using World Edit there to put in the bricks, and then finishing the roof across the back. And it's already coming along. This is quite a big building, these warehouses. They've taken up a large chunk of the harbour side already, and we'll have to, once we've built that, cast our gaze to the other side and think what other buildings that we'll want to put. Something close to those smaller jetties. So not maybe commercial shipping vessels, maybe fishing vessels, and we'll have some fishermen's houses and huts over there. So with the warehouses done, that gives us time now to move over to the next section, and I was just using World Edit again to put in a bit more wooden plank, and there you see me finishing off the detail. So the first thing I did was use wood, because these aren't so grand. These are fishermen's houses, fishermen's huts. Let's not build them out of stone, let's build them out of a slightly poorer material. Let's build them out of wood. So here I am just spacing them out, and I've bordered them all with oak wood and then filled them in with planks. So here I am just adding the border of the oak wood. They're kind of oak wood squares with planks in the middle and a hole for a door and maybe a window or a sign. Very simple design, very simple builds, and they do look a bit flat, but I've used two different kinds of wood there, so hopefully they'll stand out. Here I am playing around with some different designs, different places to put the windows and doors, but ultimately I don't want anything too fancy, I don't want anything too much. I do kind of want them a bit plainer to make the other buildings stand out. And here I am coming around to do the roofs, and because we said we only use two kinds of material and it might be better to use another one, I'm using spruce wood stairs on the roofs to make them stand out a bit more. And as you know, the roofs are the thing that take the longest for me to build and the things I enjoy building the least. But anyway, I do think that this spruce wood looks really great on these buildings and does finish them off and makes them stand out from the oak wood, because the whole harbour is made of oak wood, so we need something else to make them stand out. Otherwise, they would just blend completely into the background. And then I just went around to the backs of the buildings and filled them in and did them exactly the same on the back as they are with the front, but obviously without the doors and without the windows. And added some little signs so we can know which hut belongs to which fisherman. The next thing I did was come along and border the harbour, and I did this by using one oak plank, then one fence post, and then one oak plank, then one fence post all the way around. And this is somewhere I can put some lamps down to light up the area, and also, you know, it's good to stop people wandering onto ships or to falling into the water. So there I am, just doing that all the way around, as you can see. And then we've got a very large area right in front of the storage houses that we have to use. And I was thinking about the harbour side here in Bristol, where I'm filming from, and we have some very big cranes to help load and unload from the ship. So just using some fence post and oak blocks there, you can see me building those. And then I started work on the great big ship. I'm being a bit cheaty here with the ship because I'm building the outline on the surface of the water, or maybe one block below, and not actually building out the bows of the ship. I'm just making it visible from the harbour so that it, it creates a presence and looks like it's there, but it won't actually be functioning as a ship. I'm just building the surface decks. So what I'm doing now is I come around, the back of the ship and the front of the ship are usually the highest points, and they kind of bow in the middle. So at the back here, I'm just going up and making an area that might be the captain's cabin or somewhere where they might stand and steer the ship from. And then sloping that gently down to the middle, where we will rise up again on the other side to create the bow of the ship. This ship will be a really great decoration piece for our harbour side, a focal point, and make it look more alive, like it's being used, and somewhere where we can stage some part of the storyline, encounter some pirates, go aboard, maybe do a bit of swashbuckling. Who knows? And now you can see me building the stairs up to the captain's cabin and then bringing that out, that big square area there. That will be a room where the captain will draw up his plans and have his charts and have his rest away from the crew. And then we'll have to think about building the front of the ship and then ultimately the masts and the sails. And I wanted this ship to look alive and look like it was functioning. So I have to think about some little details that I can add to it, put something on the deck maybe, maybe some goods that are being unloaded, something like that, just to make it seem more living and more alive, like it's in the middle of a scene, not just, you know, plain. And now coming along to the sides, building the walls of the ship, just raising them out of the water in case we've got a very heavy cargo we don't want to get waterlogged. And there we are, starting with the first mast and then the second mast. So we'll have two sails, a large mainsail and a jib sail in the front. And I wanted to make it look like it was billowing, like it was in the wind. So instead of just having it flat, I curved it outwards, and then it just makes it look like it's blowing in the wind a little bit. And at the top, a crow's nest to look out on the high seas. Coming across to the front jib sail, which is a little triangle shaped sail, which is important in steering and adding a bit of extra speed. It's just coming along, and it looked a bit flat there, so curving it because it should be draped. It's not up, you know, we're not sailing, we're just having it a bit draped, so curving that there. And then putting in a design for the sail, which you can't see from this angle, unfortunately, although you will be able to see it when we do our sweep around. It's nearly finished now. That's the last little detail that I'm adding on is the sail, and that will be our harbour side complete. So here we are, coming up the bridge that we made, over to the harbour side. You can see the fishermen's houses and the small jetties there for the fishing boats that I've added lined up, and the big merchant vessel being unloaded by the crane into the storehouses. Thank you for watching. This has been Narkitect. Please like and subscribe for more. Next week we'll be looking at town planning.